What's up, guys? So everybody's talking about the Archer class right now as it's the new globally released class that just came out a couple days ago. Wanted to put a video together real quick to give you guys a little bit of input and give you guys my thoughts and my perspective coming from someone who likes to focus on PvP and is a competitive PvP player. Because there's a lot of speculation right now going around on what's this, what's that. It's kind of difficult to really gauge what it is. So I wanted to give you guys just my thoughts on the class and also what the current state of Archer is. As far as what my thoughts on the class are, I think this class is a hard-hitting truck, okay, that is able to kite extremely well, but is balanced by speed. Because it's a very, very slow class. It's a very slow class that hits hard, that has a lot of mobility. In a nutshell, that's pretty much what it is. As far as the current state of the Archer, it's really weak right now, and it's not going to be what it is next week, because next week they're going to be releasing a patch. I shouldn't say next week. That's the unofficial word. Because right now they have locked our awakening tree to what it is right now that you see on my screen. And this is really significant because A, the skills that we do have don't hit very hard. This skill is not supposed to be the hardest hitting skill in our class in the awakening tree, and it is right now because it's the only skill that we can get to level 3. Like if you look at Luthergon's Call right now, this multiplier is fucking terrible, 366%, and I can't progress this any further, but when I can next week, hopefully, you can see the multiplier goes from 366 to 1142 on 4 hits. It's like obviously that's a massive jump, right? And considering we have pre-awakening skills like Bolt of Radiance that gives 1270 times 6, that's a big multiplier. It hits pretty hard. It can kind of give you perspective on how hard the Awakening Kit is going to hit. Also, the main key skills like Glissade and Righteous Smite from Light's Trail, these skills are not given to us, and I really feel like these skills are pretty much essentially like the Skull Crusher of Striker, the Serpent Ascension of Ninja, and it's unavailable to us. A lot of combos are going to be centered around these classes because they're ranged and they hit like really, really hard. So I really feel like this video again is going to be relevant 5 days from now, hopefully when they release the content. But again, I just wanted to make this video so that people can kind of understand what's happening right now. The combos that you're using right now, you will not be using once we unlock all of our skills. It's just, we just don't have access to our best skills at this time. So that's what I think the current state of the Archer is right now. So if I were going to talk about some key points, I think the weaknesses of this class is the speed. Okay, so you can see right here, Radiant Explosion is one of our few super armor skills, and it looks mobile, but it's really not. Like you get a little, that's the 100, sorry. You get a little jump back here, like so, but any decent melee class that has a grab is going to be able to counter that and grab you all day, every day. So I would really, really suggest that you don't use that skill when you're really like right up against the target. You want to make sure you use it like when you're already kiting. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so this skill is just extremely slow, but it's used a lot because it transitions you from your pre-awakening stance to your awakening stance directly, and you can flow quite nicely with the key mobility skills. So you will use it a lot, but you just have to be really careful because it's just really slow. And I'm not trying to go through every skill individually right now, but I just wanted to use that skill as an example of why this skill is why this class is very slow. Even the combos, it's like even the combos that you'll have are just, it's just really slow, right? Like when I show you the combos at the end of the video, you'll know what I mean by it. I think the focus points, the key points to this class is timing and stamina. Okay, so stamina is a major issue. If you want to play this class, you have to have a lot of stamina. I would go as far as to say that Jin Histrias are literally going to be mandatory for the stamina, and I wouldn't even mind the fugitive earrings that give plus 75 stamina per. I think the food buff, the Camisylvia food buff, is going to be fucking mandatory for the plus 200 stamina. And my breath, like I have almost 2,000 stamina right now just because of my gear. But as you can see, my breath is only level 12. So I should be able to pick up another 2 to 300 stamina once I get it to like 30 plus, which is going to be mandatory. If you don't have stamina with this class, you can't play. And the reason why is because this class does not have a grab. You're going to be kiting and you're going to be engaged. You're going to be engaged a lot, right? Like classes like Ninja, Musa, Meihua, Strikers, Warriors, all these classes are going to be trying to engage on you and try to grab you and try and get into range. You have to do your best to kite that class, and you cannot kite that class unless you have a lot of stamina, because the mobility skills that this class uses is like this skill right here, which uses a lot of stamina, and this skill right here, which uses a fuck ton of stamina, and you are literally going to be relying on those two skills. So you're literally going to have to use your brain and not spam those skills when you don't need to. You want to backpedal in your pre-awakening because it gives you block. You have to keep the fight in front of you with this class if you want it to be. If you want to be competitive with this class, you need to be really good at keeping everyone in front of you, which will be obviously easy to do in a 1v1 situation. But in group PvP situation, you need to keep everything in front of you because a lot of these. Some of the protection that you do get in this class comes in the form of frontal guard. So, and also you need to rely on this this frontal guard backpedal S quite a bit, because you're not going to be consuming stamina by doing it. You're going to save your stamina by doing it as well. Also, using skills like Radiant Explosion buys you a little bit of time with stamina. So if I do have space, if I just do this into Uproot, which will give me more space, but it won't consume stamina. Uproot, you got to be careful. Uproot right here, you have to be careful. Whoops, sorry. This skill right here, you have to be careful because it doesn't. It's not protected. But again, you're creating space without using stamina, and you're gonna need that stamina when you get engaged upon. The main skills that you're gonna be using to kite and to extend distance is Shift S, okay, and Shift S. That's called what is it actually called? I want to actually give you guys names of the skills. Shift S, which is called Zephyr Leap, okay, and the other one is Piercing Cry, which can be used after like Meteor, after Meteor right there. Though both of those skills. The thing that you got to watch out for is both of those skills have a cooldown. You can see Piercing has like a 3-second cooldown, and then that skill has a 6-second cooldown. You're not going to be protected when you use that skill off cooldown. Okay, this skill right here has a frontal guard, which is also why you need to keep the fight in front of you. It consumes a lot of stamina, but again, you gotta watch the cooldowns, because like the super armor and frontal guards don't register. Well, actually, I don't know about the frontal guard. The super armors don't register when it's off cooldown. So like that right there is also a super armor semi-mobility skill. You can get grabbed out of it, but it's pretty good for mobility because you can change it up. Like I could literally go like that and then go this way and then that way to create the gap. You're gonna be using these 3 skills a lot: dash, Meteor, Piercing. But you gotta watch the cooldowns, because if these go on cooldown, use it, you're gonna get CC'd. So that's why I'm saying the most important thing is obviously stamina consumption and timing, because you don't want to just spam those skills because you're gonna run out of stamina in a hurry. You need to rotate your cooldowns properly. Like it's not as easy as you think, is pretty much what I'm saying. And I don't want to rant too much and too long about some of this stuff, because I don't want this video to be too long. But yeah, focus points, stamina, and timing. You're gonna spend a lot of your time doing this and this and this. Whoops, sorry, and this. You'll spend a lot of time doing that, and you're going to go through stamina a lot, like really, really, really quickly. So, with that said, um, what Archer will be like in PvP, I think this class needs a lot of space to be very good. Okay, in enclosed areas, in small areas, let's say for example, Helm's bottom rotation, cave rotation. I think this class is gonna be just it's gonna struggle. I think this class is really gonna struggle in small enclosed areas, and the reason why is because yeah, you can kite, but you need space, and there's so much like AoE in this game, large range AoE in this game, that you're going to eat it unless you could really keep space. Because remember, you want to keep everything, you want to kite away, and you know, any kiting class, generally speaking, in small enclosed areas are going to be weak. But like if we had the speed of a ninja, if Archer had the speed of a ninja, then it'd be different, but it doesn't. Like these skills are so slow that it's just like even if you're kiting going back and forth, you know, like if the target's engaging me and I go that way, like it's just gonna be really difficult because of the speed, and you'll know what I'm talking about. You will get grabbed a lot, and that's where the biggest weakness in this class comes. So those are that's my thought right now. Those are my thoughts right now on the current state of Archer. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a couple combos here that you guys can do. So PvP combos, and oh, last but not least, the PvE. A lot of people are asking, like, what's the PvE rotation? The PvE rotation is honestly, you're going to be using your awakening skill actually quite a bit. I wouldn't go to like high mob area, like, sorry. I would not go to areas that have mobs with a lot of HP that are difficult to kill. Essentially non-one-shot mobs, because it's just not going to be really effective right now. Now, the skills that you're going to be mainly cycling through for your grinding is going to be Radiant, Meteor, and Spear of Sylvia. That's it. And the reason why is because both those all three of those skills do a decent chunk of damage. Obviously, they don't hit as hard as, let's say, this skill, right? Or no. Yeah, even that skill, but Bolt of Radiance. But the reason why you're not using those skills is, first of all, Bolt of Radiance has a really long cooldown. Also, second of all, it's got a really, slow charge. But a lot of these other skills, like Luther Gun's Call, the hitboxes are very narrow, so you're not going to get all the mobs. That's why this skill right here, these three skills, Radiant, Slivia, and Meteor right here, Meteor Dive, that's why those are the main skills you're going to be using when you grind. And then Wing Strike to finish off targets. And then you're going to be using a lot of this, and then Piercing to get from pack to pack. You're going to find out that you run out of stamina in a hurry, mainly because you're using this. And that's another thing. That's another reason why, like, outside of the mobility skills, this class, like, it's so starved for stamina when it comes to PvP, because you have to do this skill. You have to do Wing Strike, because that's literally the best catch that you're gonna have, because it's a ranged knockdown. It's unprotected, but you have range, so you're okay. It's kind of like Stub Arrow for Musa, right? But it consumes stamina, and also, like, if you want to apply pressure, so this is kind of getting back to like the PvP mechanics of it. Like, if you want to apply pressure on a target, which is what you have to do because you're kiting, right? You're kiting it. And you're obviously waiting for an opening, but like good players aren't going to really give you very many openings to CC them. So like you need to be applying pressure. Like, for example, how are you going to kill a Musa, right? You're going to kill a Musa by applying pressure, by applying damage to them when they're in their super armors. The problem with that is when you're doing that, you're consuming stamina that you're going to need to kite. Right, so that's where I see a lot of the problems happening for Archer that I'm really going to be interested to see, because, you know, like, these awakening skills need to really hit hard if you want to apply that pressure. because it's just extremely slow. There's just a lot of counterplay, and right now in the current state, the only pressure you're applying is essentially that, because everything else is too slow. You get locked into animations, and it's just too slow. Like, there are a few cancels, but you can't rely on them the entire time. So, you know, that's a big question mark to me. Like, being forced to use Wing Strike, which is consuming stamina that you're going to need to use to kite, because a lot of people are saying, oh well, Rangers are like that too, but I don't think Rangers are nearly as slow as Archer. But I wouldn't be able to say too much on that because I haven't played Archer or Ranger. So I've played Pre-Awakening Ranger just a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, so sorry, the video went on a little bit longer than I would like for it to have. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go over a few combos real quick and end the video. So that's pretty much it right there. With my ping, I can't actually get that to work very well. Like, I can't get that. I can't really get that to work, and I'm not sure. I don't know if it's just my ping or whatnot, but like, I haven't been able to get that to work. So like, just to be safe, after Bolt of Radiance, I'll normally just do that. I'll normally just go straight into Earth Shatter. But apparently you can fit that skill in there. Okay, so here's what the PVE rotation looks like in real time. So we're going to be using Radiant Explosion off cooldown. Meteor Dive like that normally clears out most of the packs as well. One-shots these packs at my AP level, which is at currently soft cap. And then we're going to be using Earth Shatter and Spear of Slivia as filler skills here. Note that Spear of Slivia and Radiant Explosion is going to put you in your Awakening stance. And when you're in your Awakening stance, you cannot do Shift 4 left mouse button, which is the Piercing Cry. You need to actually do Meteor Dive to get back into your pre-Awakening stance, and then left mouse button click to do that skill right there. So just a little side note to maybe help you guys min-max your time. Density right now is kind of bad because a lot of people are grinding at Fogan's at the moment, it being a weekend. One thing I want you guys to notice is the double Radiant Explosion there. When I use Radiant Explosion alt, the 100%er, I've noticed that it doesn't actually consume, it doesn't actually put Radiant on cooldown. I don't know if that's intended, but it's really nice for grinding. And that just right there is a perfect example. Thought I was in my pre-Awakening stance, and when I went to hit left mouse button, I didn't do Piercing Cry. I just stood there like this. I just went like this and then just did this. And that's because I wasn't in my. That's because you can't use Piercing Cry in your Awakening stance. So you got to do this, so then you can follow that up with the left mouse button, and get the mobility that you need there. So we're just going to be going from pack to pack, doing Radiant Explosion, clearing most of the packs pretty much by Radiant Explosion and Meteor Dive. So my 100%'s off cooldown again, so I can use it back to back. Mobs are gone. Also, another side note, if you use Earth Shatter here, or not Bolt Raid, Earth Shatter here, if you just use it without using any preceding skills, it's got a really long load up. Excuse me, if you do any skill before it, like a dash or even just a regular left mouse button attack, it cancels into it. So that's really important. I just realized my pet's run out. Rip. So that's actually really important to know because it's going to save you a lot of time.